How's it going? It's Thursday and it's Thanksgiving. So, gobble gobble, give thanks, all that jazz. Today, I am to list a few of my firsts. So, here we go. Okay, my first job, other than babysitting, was actually working seasonal at Michael's craft store. Yeah, I was like 17 or 18, working at a craft store during Christmas. I really hate wreaths. Like, I now have a passionate hatred of wreaths because it was the Christmas season, and so I had nothing but old women wanting to make some wreaths. I didn't even know that was still a thing. My first car is the Hyundai Elantra that I still have because I've only had it for a couple years because, like a couple of you, it took me a ridiculously long time to get my license. Who was the first person to text me today? No one yet. It's not even 11 o'clock in the morning on a Thanksgiving, so no one. Who was my first grade teacher? I actually do not remember her name. I want to say it started with a K. Mrs. K. I don't know. She was a very curmudgeonly old woman. She was a very unhappy person. I don't know why they let her teach a bunch of little children. Because she was the teacher that made dreams die. Okay, so that's a lie. She was actually the teacher that told my mom that I should be a writer or a stand-up comedian. Because throughout my childhood, I was a class clown. And that kind of carried on through into college. But I always did my work, and so the teachers still loved me. I wasn't disruptive. I had great timing for all my jokes. It wasn't during a lecture or anything. I wasn't, you know. So I guess that's why she thought I'd be a great stand-up comedian, because timing is everything. My first airplane ride was actually when I was a Make-A-Wish kid. So my wish, as you guys know, when I was a Make-A-Wish kid, was to go to California and visit like all the zoos and stuff. Well, the full words of my wish was I wanted to have a monkey on my back. But that didn't happen. But I went to San Diego, California, and I got to swim with beluga whales and feed a rhino and a walrus. I fed a walrus and pet a sloth and all sorts of things, and it was beautiful. And that was my first plane ride to San Diego, California. My first best friend would have to be Jessica. She lived a couple houses down from me. Actually, when I started thinking about this question, I got really sad because looking back, I realized how awful Jessica's home life actually was. She was always dirty. She always had lice in her hair. There was always like cops or an ambulance at her house. And I don't remember her ever going to school. Like, we only saw each other when we were home. So that was really sad. And no, we don't still talk. I remember them moving to Monroeville, the next town over, and then kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. I don't really know where my first sleepover was. I'm gonna have to say my second best friend. Where was my first sleepover? My second best friend, Christine's house. She was adopted, daughter of the pastors to a sister church of my church. So, yeah. What was the first thing I did this morning? I woke up. Oh god, this one's so pathetic. My first concert? I've never actually been to a legit concert. Never. Let me tell y'all a story. One you've probably heard before. My first broken bone was this one, right here. And it's still broken. Because when I was 4, my dad slammed my finger in a very heavy metal door. And so the tip of this finger came off. It was just kind of hanging there. And so the tip of this finger, the bone is just kind of standing there. I can feel it. Still feel it, just moving around in there. Yeah, it's weird. I'll stop now. My first piercing would be my ears. I think that's, yeah, pretty normal. The first and only foreign country that I've ever been to was Canada. And I went there before you had to have like a passport and everything. It was for either my 16th or 18th birthday. Yeah. And so we basically just walked across the border. I think we had to have maybe like a birth certificate there. Yeah, but that's it. Okay, the only reason why I think this is the first movie I remember seeing is because it was so traumatic to me. Because I know my grandma used to take my brother and I to see a movie like every week. But the first one that I actually remember seeing was one of the Batman movies. It was extremely traumatic to me because I then proceeded to have nightmares for the next 5 months about Two-Face. It's awful. Alright, my first and only detention was in 7th grade, and I got caught passing notes to my boyfriend. If I had one wish, or the first wish of 3, it would be financial security. Just like Shelly said, if I did not have any student loans, life would be beautiful. Alright, the first and only sport that I was involved in was a junior varsity volleyball team in junior high. Alright, the first thing that I do when I get home from work every day is, well, it depends. If the clothes that I'm already wearing are like really comfy, like sweatpants or something, then I won't bother. And I'll just like flop down on the couch and open up my laptop. But otherwise, if I want to get out of my clothes, then I'm gonna get in pajamas. I get in pajamas immediately. Okay, that is all for the day. I hope you guys have a lovely Thanksgiving, and I will see you on Thursday.